you begin to understand the gravity of Nirel's struggle. She is not just running from Urivar's judgment, she is fighting against the growing power of Mephisto within the stone. Despite your weakened state, you know you must continue the search for her. And good news, Eru wants to help you. As you travel with him, you come across more of Urival's soldiers. You dispatch them quickly, knowing that each moment you delay brings Nirel closer to danger. To your surprise, and my surprise, Rahir, though severely wounded, finds his way back to you. His arm is gone, but his spirit remains strong. He insists on continuing the journey with you, unwilling to abandon Nirel to Urivar's wrath. Now there is also another reason for him staying. He mentions that the forces of Urivar's, the soldiers, the knights, they know his name, they know what he looks like. He cannot go back to Giacool. Rahir leads you and Eru to an old den once used by him and his mercenary band. After this, the three of you press on, following the trail Nirel left behind. You find the canoe again. Near it, a parchment, stained and crumbled, reveals Nirel's intended destination, the Kurast docks. You push forward to Kurast. At the docks, you see the signs of Nirel's passage. The people are terrified. You reach a house where a man once gave Nirel shelter, but inside, you find him dead, consumed by the same corruption infecting the land. Eru is visibly shaken by the devastation left in Nirel's wake. Wherever she goes, the corruption spreads. Among the debris in the house, you uncover pages from an old tome chronicling Kurast Pass with Mephisto. Nirel's interest in the history of Mephisto's imprisonment is clear, and it becomes evident that she seeks to avoid the mistakes made by the captors of old. That's right, the Zakharum Church, it all connects. You follow her path into the archives of the docks, where she learns about Mephisto's escape and the dangers of his influence on those who imprisoned him. If you remember, Mephisto was imprisoned in a soul stone, and he was kept by the Zakharum Church, but eventually, little by little, he took over their minds. This was a long time ago, but it's still quite relevant. The trail points you toward Travincool, the city that once held Mephisto captive. Now, before you venture further into Travincool's darkness, Eru urges caution. He suggests that you seek the blessing of the light to protect yourself from the corruption ahead. Together, you journey to a sacred ritual site, where Eru summons the spirit of the one and only Akarat. The spirit agrees to grant you a light blessing, but warns that Nirel's fate may not be in your hands. She must find the strength within herself to overcome the darkness she faces. Now, this is an important phrase. It's a bit of a throwaway, but it is important, and it will explain why Akarat doesn't lay everything out. He wants us to figure it out ourselves. The journey is important. Anyway, with the blessing granted, you prepare to head into Travincool, knowing the true challenge lies ahead. Now, you eventually arrive at the outskirts of Travincool, where the ruins of the ancient city are choked with the corruption that has seeped into every corner. The hollows crawl through the debris, their twisted forms bearing the marks of the rot that has spread since Nirel's passage. Eru walks beside you, his voice low as he speaks of Travincool's grim history. This place once held Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, imprisoned, but his bonds were broken, and the city fell. Now the darkness that consumed Travincool threatens to spread again. With the light's blessing from Akarat, you and Eru carve a path through the corruption, pushing deeper into the ruins. The light cuts through the creeping shadows, weakening the hollows as you dispatch them. As you near the heart of the city, Eru pieces together what you already know. Nirel carries Mephisto's soulstone, a very similar object to the one that once held captive in this city. The deeper you go, the more Eru's concern grows. The corruption here, in the durance of hate, signals that Nirel is close, but so too is the overwhelming influence of Mephisto. Now you descend deeper into Mephisto's old prison, and eventually you find Nirel. She kneels atop a stone pillar in a wide chamber, her hand around the soulstone, her face pale and strained. She is muttering a prayer to Akarat, trying to keep Mephisto's influence contained, but it is clear she is weakening. When she sees you, tears streak her cheeks, but she doesn't stop her chant. Her warning is clear. You are in danger here, and Mephisto's reach is long. From the shadows at the base of the pillar, Mephisto emerges in the form of a wolf. His voice is deep and mocking as he speaks to you, weaving a tale of how you once left Nirel with the choice to capture either Lilith or him in the Soul Stone. Now, a little note here is that Mephisto looks bigger here, more powerful. His presence is suffocating, and he accuses you of abandoning your responsibility, placing the burden of such a decision on a child. The Soul Stone has begun to corrupt her, he says, and her suffering is only growing worse. Mephisto taunts you, suggesting that Nirel will die before she surrenders, and that you can end her torment by freeing him from the Soul Stone. Of course, the more he speaks, the more you realize he's trying to manipulate you. Now, before you can act, waves of hollows swarm into the chamber. The battle is fierce once more, but just as you begin to feel overwhelmed, something unexpected happens. A golden spirit lion appears, its radiant form tearing through the creatures with ease. It is the spirit of Akarat. Now, I'm going to be making a full video on Akarat in the future, so make sure to subscribe. The spirit of Akarat was sent to aid you in this dark hour. Akarat's voice is steady, instructing you to seek out Abulan, another ancient spirit who has the strength needed to help Nirel overcome the Soul Stone's pull. As the light from Akarat fades, you and Eru retreat from the durance of hate, the weight of Mephisto's presence still heavy on your shoulders. Eru is quiet as you travel back to Karast, but his concern is clear. Nirel's time is running out, and Mephisto's influence grows stronger with every passing moment. Eru blames the Soul Stone for the growing corruption, but he also fears for what this means for Nahantu and the Spirit Realm. Once in Karast, you meet with the Council of Nahantu, where they discuss the urgency of finding Abulan. They point you towards the Undercity of Karast, where murals and records might reveal the spirit's location. Alongside Iru and Maka, another council member, you venture deep into the Undercity, and it is here that you find the clues leading to the Field of Giants, a place within the Spirit Realm where Abulan resides. When you and Eru return to the surface, Maka assists you in opening a portal to the Spirit Realm. As the portal opens, the sound of Abulan's screams fills the air, and corrupted creatures spill through. It is clear that the corruption has seeped even into the Spirit Realm. Eru, furious and panicked, lashes out, blaming Nirel for bringing this destruction to Nahantu. His anger is palpable as he curses the Soul Stone, fearing for the survival of his people and the world. As tensions rise, a portal to hell tears open before you. Without hesitation, you step through, knowing that Mephisto is waiting. His domain, the realm of hatred, is a twisted and dark place. Mephisto, still in wolf form of course, sits before an image of Nirel, his face edged with torment. She is trapped in a constant state of agony, reliving the moment when she had to decide which of the prime evils to imprison. Mephisto speaks. He explains that he is in her mind, feeding her doubts, tormenting her with the weight of her decision. You shout for him to leave her, but Mephisto calmly states that he and Nirel are bound, just as you are bound to Lilith, his daughter. His manipulation continues, offering you a deal. Release him from the Soul Stone, and Nirel will be freed from her suffering. He warns you that his brothers, the other primevals, are coming, and that you will not defeat them alone. Is that single line maybe a vision of what's to come? The offer is tempting, but you resist. You refuse to turn against Nirel, no matter what Mephisto promises. With a final taunt, Mephisto fades back into the shadows, leaving you in the suffocating silence of his realm. You emerge from the portal, shaken but resolute. Eru is waiting for you, clearly troubled, but also weirdly curious by the fact that Mephisto is trying to negotiate his release. What's he planning, I wonder? You and Eru then meet up with Maka, who holds the key to entering the Spirit Realm. With her guidance, you recover ancient artifacts tied to Abulan. The artifacts, once used to honor him, are now crucial in opening the portal to the Spirit Realm. Maka prepares the ritual, her expressions heavy with concern for what lies ahead. The portal forms, shimmering with unstable energy, and you step through, leaving the physical world behind. The Spirit Realm is unsettling, yes, a landscape both familiar, especially if you're a Spirit-born, but also alien. It's clear that the corruption seen in Sanctuary has begun to infect this place as well. The hollows, which once played Gaia cool, now crawl through the Spirit Realm. You push forward, tracking Abulan through this twisted landscape. However, when you finally reach him, It is clear that something has gone terribly wrong. The corruption has overtaken Abulan, his once proud and powerful form twisted and infected, his mind lost to the very plague you came to stop. Eru is devastated, and he tries to reason with what remains of his mentor, but it is of no use. The spirit of Abulan, consumed by the Hollows, attacks. Forced to defend yourself, you strike him down, ending his misery. The weight of the moment hits Eru hard. Abulan was more than just a powerful spirit, he was a symbol of the strength of Nahantu and resilience, not to mention a dear friend to Eru. Now that symbol is gone, consumed by the same evil threatening to tear apart both the spirit realm and sanctuary. Now, despite the pain of losing Abulan, there is still a way he can help, and with no other choice, you take Abulan's heart. The task is grim, but necessary. Eru, though shattered by the loss, understands the importance of what must be done. He is the one who carves the heart out of his friend and gives it to you with tears streaking down his face. It pulses with the last remnants of his strength, a tool that could give Neyrelle the power she needs to overcome the Soulstone's pull. This is one of the first moments where Eru starts to lose parts of himself, and I want you to take note. Now, with Abulan's heart in hand, you and Eru return to Travancore. The ancient city, still corrupted and dark, seems to close in around you as you descend once more into its depth. You offer your condolences to Eru for the loss of his mentor, and though the pain remains fresh, Eru nods in understanding. He thanks you for ending Abulan's suffering, knowing that allowing the corruption to spread further would have only deepened the tragedy. As you move deeper into Travinkel, Akarat's presence begins to manifest once more, guiding you through the twisting corridors. You search for Neyrelle, but she is no longer in the place where you last saw her. As you move, you come across statues, ancient relics dedicated to the disciples of Akarat. This is a very interesting place in the game, and we will definitely revisit it in my Akarat video. It is here that you finally confront the spirit of Akarat himself. Frustrations and questions rise within you. Why had Akarat not revealed Abulan's importance earlier? Why send you on this treacherous path through Travinkel the first time, knowing Neyrelle's time was running out? Not to mention, if you had gotten to Abulan's earlier, you might have been able to save him. He explains that if you had known everything from the beginning, Neyrelle's fate would have been sealed. She needed to see you, to draw strength from your presence, in order to push forward in her struggle against Mephisto's influence. Akarat reveals the deeper truth. Neyrelle's battle is not just her own, but one that ties the fate of Nahantu and all of Sanctuary together. The Hollows and Mephisto's corruption were always intertwined with this land, dating back to Akarat's first battles with the Lord of Hatred. The scars on Mephisto's wolf form, the twisted, burned flesh, those are the remnants of Akarat's ancient war against him. The Soulstone Neyrelle carries is bound not just to Mephisto, but to her very soul. And saving her is the key to saving all of Sanctuary. Eru struggles to understand why Neyrelle is so vital, given that she brought the Hollows and the Soulstone to Nahantu in the first place. But Akarat's answer is clear. The Hollows and Mephisto's corruption were always a part of this place, long before Neyrelle arrived. Her role is not that of a bringer of destruction, but of a potential savior. If she can master the Soulstone and free herself from Mephisto's grip, she can prevent the darkness from consuming everything. With Akarat's guidance, you steel yourself for the next step. When you finally find Neyrelle, she is fragile and exhausted. Her face shows the strain of battling Mephisto's presence. You approach her carefully and convince her to eat the heart of Abulan. The energy within the heart seeps into her, filling her with life and freeing her of the weight of Mephisto for the time being. Neyrelle's clarity returns, though her body remains weak. She speaks of her need to strengthen the Soulstone before it breaks entirely. She has learned of a massive well of hidden energy in the tomb of Akarat, a place where the Soulstone can be empowered and its bond with her severed. However, the idea of defiling such a sacred place deeply unsettles Eru. He fears the consequences of disturbing the heart of Nahantu, the tomb of Akarat. But Neyrelle reassures him that the tomb lies within the spirit realm. Now, despite Neyrelle's reassurances, Eru cannot bring himself to agree. However, the Council of Karas sides with Nirel. They recognize the necessity of strengthening the stone before it shatters and releases Mephisto. Akarat